Long ago, in a land far away, was a small town that rested near a forest. This was no ordinary forest. This forest was said to house all sorts of magical creatures, from the frail pixies to the illusionist unicorns, all under the protection of the elves, the residents, and the protectors of the forest and all its creatures. Many humans aren't allowed deep in the forest. Not that they could find the great kingdom, anyways. Any human with a tricked heart that entered the forest were met with terrors and monsters. So many adults stayed away from the deepest parts of the woods. Yet children would not report such things, many saying there are all sorts of magical things, even some elves. So the saying goes, the forest will only show its wonders to those clean of heart. A young child named Yin wandered into these forests to see the creatures for herself. As she went deeper into the forest, she soon came across a beautiful waterfall. Yin stood in awe as she approached the waterfall. As she approached, Yin noticed a small figure sitting in the middle of the lake. The closer she got, Yin could see it was a young elf dressed in fine clothing. He looked like a young prince. The young elf seemed to notice the girl too, as he slightly glared at her. Yin, getting the memo, stayed to her side of the forest, and the elf boy minding his own business. So Yin sat down by the lake's edge and waved a branch of flowers loomed into her basket. As the two sat quietly, some small woodland creatures slowly started to approach the young girl. From rabbits to the ever so shy unicorns slowly approached the young human. Yin smiled brightly as she offered a bright red apple to the pure white unicorn. Shoto couldn't help but feel a little envious. Not even the bravest by unicorn standards wanted to approach him. So he slowly got closer to the girl and the creatures, only for the creatures to notice him, pursue and quickly scatter. Yin looked up at the young elf boy. Now that he was close, she could see more unique features to him. How his hair was half red and half white, along with the most beautiful heterochromic eyes. Good day to you? Yin greeted with a smile. Shoto, surprised by her warm greeting, didn't really know what to respond. Most humans' youth ran away from him, and at the mere presence of him. Hi, was all he could muster. It is really pretty and nice living with all the unicorns and other creatures, Yin said blissfully. I guess, though, most of the time they run away from me, Shoto said plainly. Why is that? Yin asked curiously. 'Cause of my aura, it's too much like my father's, Shota said with a hint of hate in his voice. Your father must be scary and powerful, Yin commented. He's the king of the elves for a reason, Shoto said nonchalantly. So you're a prince then? So what's it like? Yin asked curiously. Of course, she was a kid after all. None of your business, Shoto answered coldly. Oh, sorry. I work at a bakery to earn money for my friends and me in the orphanage. You should try out berry muffins sometimes. Oh, that's why I'm here. Yin gasped with wide eyes. I forgot I came here to collect fruits and berries. Well, there is a place you could go, Shoto said softly. Oh, where? Yin asked. I'll show you, Shoto said as he dragged Yin into the forest. Shoto soon leads her to an opening in the forest, filled with bushes and alerts of berries and trees that bore loads of fruit. Bear lots of fruit, sorry. Yin's eyes widened in awe at many fruits and berries, all in one place. So she happily pulled Shoto with her as they started collecting berries left and right. Shoto, not used to peasant work, got cut out on the thorns, making his hands look like they were attacked by an angry cat. His sleeves didn't frail well either. Yin gasped in shock as she looked at the Shoto's cuts on his hands. The girl quickly pulled out her handkerchief and wrapped his bloodied hands. Shoto's heart pounded in his chest at this human girl's kindness. Her hands were so warm and gentle, a feeling he hasn't received in a very long time. There, all better. You probably still need to clean it though. Yin smiled as she kissed his knuckle. Why did you do that? Shoto gasped as he pulled his hands away. I'm kissing it to make it feel better. That's what my mommy did when I got hurt, Yin explained. Shoto's ears and cheeks were bright red as his heart fluttered in his chest. Yet soon the two noticed the sun was reaching the horizon, so with a heavy heart Shoto led Yin to the edge of the forest. As Yin turned to leave, she felt Shoto's hand gripping onto her wrist. Shoto? Yin asked. Will you come back soon? Shoto asked as he looked to his feet. Sure, if my caretaker lets me. Yin smiled happily. Shoto was hesitant to release Yin's arm, and as she quickly ran off to see her family home and bakery. From that day on, Yin would visit the forest and scout every week or so, just to explore the forest with all different parts of the forest and spend time together. As the two grew, Shoto's feelings for the human also grew. But one day on Yin's 13th birthday, she fell horribly sick. In desperation, her orphanage brothers and sisters worked harder than ever to earn the money to cure their friend and sister at heart, even if it meant sending her to a faraway capital. While Shoto waited and waited for his beloved human to return to him, yet she never came. Their once lush and living secret waterfall became a snowy wasteland. The trees had long perished, the water had completely frozen over, and the animals had long fled the small section of the forest. The elder elves grew worried, yet fearful of the young prince. His ice powers were out of control and harming the woods around him. Not even his father could reverse the ice magic. Shoto sat at the snowy waste of the waterfall, his heart hardened in disarray. Why have you abandoned me, Yin? He sobbed quietly to himself. As he grew, so did his powers and his curse. The once beautiful and mysterious forest was consumed by an entire snow in winter. After a few years, Yin slowly recovered and returned to her home in the orphanage, where her family at heart welcomed her back with open arms. She was slightly surprised by the sudden change of once magical forest, but sadly could risk getting sick again, so with a heavy heart avoided the snowy forest. Though she would wander in the edge in hopes that maybe her elf friend would appear, yet he never did, at least from what she saw. She was completely unaware of the heterochromic eyes watching her every movement. You finally return, Yin? He sighed with a lovesick awe. It's finally time to claim my queen. Are you sure you don't need anything, Yin? Deku asked Yin's longtime friend in the orphanage. I'm fine, Deku. Thanks to you and the others, I was able to get the care I needed. Yin smiled happily. Deku's heart fluttered in his chest. The two grew up together in the orphanage, worked together in the same bakery, and was the one who worked the hardest to earn money for Yin. Seeing his long-term crush happy and well was enough for him. Wow, it's really snowing out there, isn't it? Yin said as she stares out at the blizzard outside. Yeah, one could almost forget it's supposed to be summer, Deku said with a slight concern. What happened during the time I was gone? Yin wondered to herself. As night fell, everyone in the orphanage was preparing for bed. As Zuko helped Yin to bed, for she was very weak and still in recovery, the snowy wind howled against the old orphanage building as Izuku tried to keep the fire going. Then suddenly the windows and doors slammed open as the snow and wind rushed through the building. The fire was quickly blown out, and the room was cast in darkness. Deku began to panic as he knew the chill would kill Yin. But as he turned to Yin to see a tall figure holding her sleeping form gently. The boy with two different colored hair and eyes and worn expensive attire. Izuku noticed the boy's pointed ears and crown made out of gold and silver. It was the Elf King. Shoto held his beloved directly as he wielded his ice magic to form a beautiful tiara of ice on her head. With a soft kiss on the forehead, the two vanished in a gust of snow. Yin! Izuku gasped as he quickly stood and ran to the window and saw the snow had stopped suddenly.